low views, brutal click-through rates, complete creative burnout, and you can't even come up with your next video. You think it's the algorithm, but it's actually something way more serious, but fixable. What I'm about to tell you might sting a little bit, but it could completely save your YouTube channel. I'm Erika Vieira, YouTube channel producer for 10 years and coach of over 2,000 women creatives. And I've seen this problem destroy women who are doing everything else perfectly on YouTube. The issue isn't your thumbnails, your titles, or even your content. It's niche misalignment. And most people have no idea that they're suffering from it. Today, that's what we're covering, and it might change everything for you. Ladies, class is in session. So what exactly is niche misalignment? It's basically the umbrella term for a bunch of different scenarios that all lead to the same problem. Maybe you picked the wrong niche from the very beginning. Maybe you were in a great niche, but you've grown and evolved and now you're no longer interested in that space. Or, and this one's kind of tricky, maybe you're in a niche that you genuinely love, but it's just not the right fit for you specifically. Here's what makes this so dangerous for YouTube creators. Niche misalignment is like trying to run a marathon in high heels. You might make some progress, but you're making everything unnecessarily hard for yourself. And the worst part of all this, most people have no idea that's what's actually holding them back. They think it's their thumbnails, they think it's the algorithm, they're switching up their titles, trying new editing styles, following every YouTube guru's advice. But none of that matters if the foundation, your niche, is wrong. When you're misaligned, you get stuck in this cycle of low views, terrible click-through rates, creative burnout, and you literally cannot come up with video ideas because deep down, you don't want to make content about this topic anymore. And here's the thing, if this is your problem, you need to figure it out right now. Because I have seen talented creators waste months, even years, spinning their wheels when a simple niche pivot could have changed everything. Here's what you need to understand. If you're in the wrong niche, nothing else is going to work. I don't care how many YouTube tutorials you watch, and I did a whole video on that, which if you watch any YouTube advice videos at all, you're gonna wanna watch that video. Because watching a bunch of these YouTube advice and tutorial videos can actually sometimes, not always, be more harmful than helpful. I don't care if you switch up your thumbnails every week or test 50 different title formats. No amount of optimization is going to fix the core fundamental problem. No AI tools are gonna work, ChatGPT isn't gonna save you, none of those fancy new systems that everyone's talking about, none of it matters if you're in the wrong niche. If you're in the wrong niche, you're essentially trying to build a house on a broken foundation. You can have the most beautiful walls, the perfect roof, the most amazing interior design, but if that foundation is cracked, the whole thing is going to crumble. That's why it is extremely important that you figure out whether or not you are in the right niche. And this is something that I help people do all day long. And if you want my direct help with that, I have my niche workbook and my niche AI tool inside of my YouTube bootcamp. I've always put a huge emphasis on making sure that you have the right niche, and now I'm leveraging AI to help people even more in my bootcamp. If this is something you're struggling with, I'd highly suggest looking into my bootcamp, and then you have me as your coach as well. But the bottom line is this, get your niche right first. Everything else can wait. So how do you actually know if you're dealing with niche misalignment? There are 3 major warning signs, and if any of these sound familiar, we need to talk. Warning sign number 1, you lose inspiration on creating. And this is huge. If creating content no longer inspires you, if it feels heavy, if it feels like a chore instead of something that excites and energizes you, that is a massive red flag that you are not in the right niche. I'm talking about when you sit down and brainstorm your next video and you just can't. Not because you don't know how to come up with ideas, but because you genuinely do not want to talk about this stuff anymore. Warning sign number 2, you start to resent your audience. And this one is a little bit uncomfortable to talk about, but it is very real. I've had multiple clients who could not stand reading their comments anymore. They'd even tell me, Erika, I can't even respond to my audience because I cannot stand these people. But here's the thing, these are the people who are fanatical about a topic that you used to be fanatical about. You were the leader, the queen of that community. You built this audience because you were just like them. But now you're different. You've changed, you evolved, and they're still exactly where you used to be. It's not really their fault. That's exactly what you were attracting when you were in that headspace. And warning sign number 3, wrong fit despite loving the topic. This one's tricky because you might genuinely love your niche. You might be passionate about it, but that doesn't necessarily mean it's the niche that you're supposed to be in. Maybe you're not excelling in this space as much as you could somewhere else. Maybe there's another niche where you'd really stand out, where you'd have a better chance of success. And here's what I've discovered after working with thousands of creators. For many people, what they're most passionate about isn't actually their niche topic. What they're most passionate about is being successful on YouTube. So they'll pick a topic that they're passionate enough about, enough to be inspired, enough to be energized, enough to fulfill the task. Is it what excites them most in this world? Not necessarily. But what really gets them fired up is the success that comes from choosing the right path. The ceiling of success and acknowledgement for their hard work, that's what drives them. So they're willing to choose a niche they're passionate enough about if it means they can actually see the YouTube success that they're craving. And maybe that's you right now. Maybe you're having an aha moment. You're realizing, wait a second, I don't have to force myself to stick with this one niche just because I started there. Because the truth is, your real passion might not be the topic itself. Your real passion might be succeeding on YouTube, building something meaningful, creating a platform that changes your life. So maybe it's time to pivot, not into something random, but into something you're passionate enough about to actually get to where you want to go. If you're burning out, it might not be because you're no longer interested in the topic. It might just be that the niche isn't the best fit for you. And if you're deeply passionate about making YouTube work, then maybe there's another space where you could absolutely thrive, one that lights you up and gets you results. Let me tell you about some real transformations that I've seen, because I've worked with creators who are doing everything right. Great thumbnails, solid titles, consistent uploads, but they still weren't seeing the success that they wanted. They were trying all the strategies, following all the advice, but the real problem was their niche. And here's what's crazy. Once we fixed that one fundamental issue, everything else fell into place. First, I want to talk about something I've noticed, especially in the beauty community on YouTube. I think a lot of women gravitate towards beauty because, honestly, everyone has a face. There's a very low barrier to entry. You feel like you're really good at makeup, on your own face. You love to try products. It's a fun niche to be in. You would love to get free products and be on PR. You don't necessarily need specific qualifications to be good at makeup. Now, yes, there's actual makeup artists who really do thrive on YouTube. People like Nikki LaRose, Lisa J Makeup, Risa Does Makeup. These are true working professionals who've been able to break out because they had those credentials to stand out. But I've worked with a lot of people who were stuck in beauty, trying everything to grow. And they successfully transitioned out and saw way more success outside of that niche. Even though they love beauty and were passionate about beauty, there was just a better fit somewhere else for them. I'm not saying the beauty niche is a bad niche. In fact, it has a lot going for it. High affiliate commissions, strong brand deal potential, and a built-in audience that loves to shop. I've worked with creators in my bootcamp and one-on-one coaching who are absolutely crushing it in beauty or have the potential to. So if that's your niche, don't let this discourage you. The reason I'm using beauty as an example is because this is a pattern I've seen play out a lot within that niche. I've worked with multiple creators who started in beauty but found their real momentum in a different niche down the line. And I could have shared even more examples like the two that I shared in this video. So let me tell you about Em. She was one of my first one-on-one coaching clients way back in the day, and she was doing beauty content. When she first came to me and was struggling making YouTube work. But when I learned about her actual career outside of YouTube, she was working as an exotic pet trainer. I was like, why don't you do your YouTube channel about this? She might love beauty. She might be passionate about beauty. She might be good at beauty. And she still is to this day. But she was also passionate about animals. But what I learned is that she was most passionate about being very successful on YouTube. So I told her, okay, if all things are equal, if you're extremely passionate about being successful on YouTube, why not pick the path of least resistance? Beauty, you're one of many. Exotic pets, you're not. You stand out. You're unique. You're different. It took her a while to get on board with that, but eventually she followed my advice. She privated all of her beauty videos and essentially started over on the same channel. She only had a couple thousand subscribers at that point. She started posting exotic animal videos, and sure enough, she blew up. Now let me tell you about Kathy over 50. Same situation. We worked one-on-one and she was really focusing heavily on beauty. She liked beauty. She enjoyed beauty. She knew the over 50 community on YouTube is thriving with beauty content, but I just feel like it wasn't the best fit for her specifically. As I got to know her better, got to see the depths of who Kathy was, we experimented with a few different ideas. And she was open to that, which I was happy about, because she was more passionate about being successful on YouTube than she was about makeup. She was willing to do whatever it took to see that success. We experimented with different topics, and the one that really stood out was fashion over 50, specifically for plus size and apple body shaped women. Was she more passionate about that than beauty? Not necessarily, but what she was most passionate about was seeing success on YouTube. So we leaned into what was bringing her success, which was the over 50 fashion. And then, interestingly enough, she still did beauty videos, and because she grew this larger audience, now she got more views on her beauty videos. Some of those viewers came over from her fashion videos. So she still was and still is able to do some beauty on her channel. And then she started a sub niche on her channel, which is something she is very passionate about, which is diet and losing weight with Weight Watchers. She's also gotten a little bit more personal on her channel, which has been really good for her. Both of these women saw massive transformations, not because they weren't passionate about their original topics, but because they were more passionate about YouTube success than any specific niche. So they made the decision to go with the niche that gave them a better shot at success. And in both cases, that niche just happened to be less saturated than the beauty space. So how do you actually know? Because obviously, I don't want you making the same mistakes. The perfect niche is usually the intersection of three things. Think of it like a Venn diagram where all three circles overlap. First circle, passion. Something you love talking about. And here's the test. Would you happily create content about this topic for the next 3 years? Even longer? In Kathy's case, she was fine creating videos about over 50 fashion. In Emma's case, she was already passionate about animals and was fine doing that. Maybe there were other things they were both more passionate about, but they were passionate enough to be able to do the work consistently. Second circle is expertise and talent. Do you have the knowledge, skills, or natural abilities in this area? This is where Em really shined. She had experience with exotic animals that nobody else could really replicate. That's what set her apart. With Kathy, it was a struggle she was personally experiencing, being apple, body shape, and plus size. She had more knowledge because it was something she was committed to solving for herself. Plus, she also genuinely enjoyed shopping and trying things on. Not everybody likes doing that, but she does. Plus, as a side note, one thing I can say about Kathy, she is a hard worker. An ex-dairy farmer, she was no stranger to hard work, grinding and not quitting, qualities I always admire in her. She was committed to YouTube success and doing whatever she could to get there. Third circle was audience demand. Are people actively searching for and engaging with this type of content? If people just aren't interested in that topic at all, it's going to be difficult to see success, even if you're passionate about it and even if you're good at it. People just aren't interested. Fortunately for both Kathy and Em, people were interested in these topics. There was real demand. Your perfect YouTube niche is somewhere in that sweet spot where all three of those intersect. Is passion plus expertise plus audience demand. And remember, you don't have to be the most passionate about this topic. You just need to be passionate enough to do it consistently while you're passionate about seeing YouTube success. All right, so I'm really curious. What is your niche right now? Let me know if you've gotten this far. Type it in the comments right now. And on a scale of 1 to 10, how strong do you feel like it's the best niche for you? 1 being you don't think it's good at all, and 10 being this is it, Erika. I'm gonna die on this hill. This is my niche for me. Let me know in the comments. I read and respond to every single one, and I love hearing about your YouTube journeys. And if you're realizing that you might be dealing with a little bit of niche misalignment, or you're just not sure if this is the right niche for you and you want my direct help with figuring this out, I'm more than happy to work with you in my YouTube bootcamp. I also have a niche workbook in there and my niche AI tool specifically designed to help you find your perfect fit. Remember, you've got this. Keep shining, keep creating, and most importantly, keep being you. Mwah.